Hello everyone, my name is Elias Gunther, and next we're going to share with you a choral reading of a short story by Max Lucado. I hope you enjoy.
A party was the last thing Mary expected as she approached the tomb that Sunday morning.
The last few days had brought nothing to celebrate.
The Jews could celebrate.
Jesus was out of the way.
The soldiers could celebrate. Their work was done.
But Mary couldn't celebrate.
To her, the last few days had brought nothing but tragedy.
Tragedy.
Mary had been there.
She had heard the leaders clamor for Jesus' blood. She had witnessed the Roman whip rip the skin off his back.
She had winced as the thorn sliced his brow and wept
at the weight of the cross. In the early morning mist,
she arises from her mat, takes her spices and aloes, and leaves her house, past the gate of Genna and up to the hillside.
She anticipates a somber task.
By now, the body will be swollen.
His face will be white. Death's odor will be pungent.
A gray sky gives way to gold as she walks up the narrow trail.
As she rounds the final bend, she gasps!
The rock in front of the grave
has been pushed back.
Someone took the body.
She runs to awaken Peter and John.
They
rush to see for themselves.
She tries to keep up with them, but can't.
Peter comes out of the tomb bewildered,
and John comes out believing. But Mary just sits in front, weeping.
The two men go home and leave her alone with her grief.
But something tells her that she is not alone.
Maybe she hears a noise.
Maybe she hears a whisper.
Or maybe she just hears her own heart to tell her to take a look for herself.
Whatever the reason,
she does. She stoops down,
sticks her head into the hewn entrance, and
waits
for
her eyes to adjust to the dark.
Why are you crying? She sees what looks to be a man.
But he's white.
Radiantly white. He is one of two lights on either end of the vacant slab.
Why are you crying? They have taken my Lord away, and I don't know where they have put him. She still calls him
my Lord.
As far as she knows, his lips were silent.
As far as she knows,
his corpse had been carried off by grave robbers.
But in spite of it all,
he is still her Lord.
Such devotion moved Jesus.
It moves him closer to her.
So close, she hears him breathing.
She turns, and there he stands.
She thinks he is the gardener.
Now Jesus could have revealed himself at this point.
He could have called for an angel to present him.
Or a band to announce his presence.
But he didn't.
Why are you crying? Who is it you are looking for?
He doesn't leave her wondering long. Just long enough to remind us that he loves to surprise us.
He waits for us to despair
of human strength.
Then intervenes with heavenly.
God waits for us to give up, and then
surprise!
Has it been a while since you let God surprise you?
It's easy to reach the point
where we have God figured out.
We know exactly what God does.
We break the code.
We chart his tendencies.
God is a computer.
If we push the right buttons and insert the right data, God is
exactly who we thought he was.
No variations.
No alterations.
God is a jukebox.
Insert the tithe.
Punch in the right number and bam! The divine music we want fills the room. Have you got God figured out?
Have you got God captured in a flowchart and frozen on a flannel board? If so, then listen. Listen to God's surprises.
Hear the rocks, meant for the body of the adulterous woman,
drop
to the ground.
Listen as the Messiah whispers to the Samaritan woman,
I who speak to you am he.
Listen
to the woman from Nain eating dinner with her son, who is supposed to be dead.
Listen
to the surprise as Mary's name is spoken by a man she loved,
A
man she had buried.
Miriam.
God appearing at the strangest of places, doing the strangest of things,
stretching smiles where there had hung only frowns,
placing twinkles where there were only tears, hanging a bright star in a dark sky,
arching rainbows in the midst of thunderclouds,
Miriam.
calling names in a cemetery.
Miriam.
Mary was shocked. It's not often you hear your name spoken by an eternal tongue, but when she did, she responded correctly. She worshipped him.
The scene has all the elements of a surprise party. Secrecy, wide eyes, amazement,
gratitude.
But this celebration is timid in comparison with the one that is being planned for the future.
It's going to be some party, but it will be similar to Mary's, but a lot bigger.
Many more graves will open.
Many more names will be called.
Many more knees will bow.
And many more seekers will celebrate.
No eye has seen.
No ear has heard.
No mind has conceived
what God has prepared for those who love him.